What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Watching Sundays. We hope you guys had a great Christmas holiday.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year.
We're coming to you this week with a review of Aquaman, which is something that we saw with our family, the whole family.
Yeah, the kids saw it too. They sat through it. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. So this is probably going to be a point of contention in this video.
A little bit. Just I have very small grievances towards
Small
this movie.
grievances, is that how you're going to put it?
Yeah.
All right, well...
Minor.
I'm going to start this off by saying I very much enjoyed it. I thought overall it was a great product. It was a great movie. I appreciated the pacing of their narrative. I appreciated their self-awareness because... You know, a lot of times in DC movies, we get a movie that is just so serious. It takes itself too seriously, right? And there's a lot of moments in this movie, not to spoil anything, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. There's a lot of moments in the movie that it's very cheesy, but it's so good, and it's so like...
It's so Jason Momoa.
It's so Jason Momoa, and it's also very appreciated because... You know, one of the things that worked about Wonder Woman, it wasn't so serious either. You know, you had some of Gal Gadot's humor and her personality.
And I think you can appreciate some of the new directions that DC Universe is doing with their movies. They're giving it a little bit more levity. They're as you said, they're not taking themselves too seriously, just like Man of Steel and even Justice League. They had a little bit of fun moments in Justice League, but you couldn't really get into it because you weren't invested in these characters yet.
Right.
But Aquaman, as you were saying that you enjoyed it, I didn't hear you say that you loved it. You said the pacing was great. Like, I did not like the pacing of this movie. Like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, there was just... I think it just got drawn out too much. Like the second or third act with him and Mira, with Aquaman and Mira, I felt like
Black Manta.
I felt like his character in this movie was throwaway. It was just like an add-on. You're going up against Ocean Master, like that should be like the main like crux of the storylines. But then it just kept going. I felt like Black Manta just kind of kept coming in. Don't want to spoil anything. Black Manta is a part of this movie, but I don't think it was big enough, or like it kind of got in the way with the major storylines that kind of took things away from me. For me,
Black Manta served as like a setup for the future because we all know that Ocean Master is the main villain in this movie, but a lot of times we get certain characters that are, you know, a juxtaposition to the main villain, such as Scorpion in the new Tom Holland Spider-Man. And then at the end, you know, hopefully you've seen it by now. At the end, the Scorpion confronts Vulture. And so that's kind of like a setup for maybe he's going to be the next villain in the next Spider-Man. So I think overall for Aquaman, they're trying to set up his rogues. They're trying to set up his gallery of villains. And Black Manta can be one. Ocean Master is obviously the villain for this movie. And overall, though... It was just fun and entertaining.
It was fun. I mean, that is like a small thing that I didn't like, the pacing. Like I just felt like it was an add-on to the movie. It wasn't like it didn't add any more value to it than what I'm already enjoying about it. Like the Ocean Master thing, like the confrontation, like the problem with his mother and Mira and like the kingdom of Atlantis.
Yeah.
That stuff was amazing. There were parts like Indiana Jones, and then there was like National Treasure. Those kinds of...
That adventure.
Yeah, those adventurous elements really was fun. You know, and Jason Momoa and Mira, their chemistry was really good on screen. You could probably just throw away the whole Black Manta part of it because like...
I don't think
there's
so.
only like... It was only covered in just these small pieces. Like I didn't really get a chance to get to know Black Manta.
I'm going to ask for the help of DC fans out there. I think Black Manta, again, serves his purpose in the movie, not just to set up his eventual involvement with Aquaman in later movies, but he's also there to enhance Arthur's arc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because something happens in the movie, obviously. We're not going to spoil it, but it's dealing with what Aquaman or what Arthur does in the beginning that kind of defines how Black Manta treats him
Sure.
and
I got
how
that.
Black Manta becomes a villain in his own right. So the beginning is a setup, but it also sets up why this person could be an
And
ultimate
he probably
villain.
plays like an important role in Aquaman 2. The special effects were great, like overall, but man, I could just see the effects studios, the animation studios, just working overtime and just night and day, and just trying to get the effect of them floating in the water.
I thought it
as
looked great.
good as possible. You thought it looked great. I thought it looked quirky. I thought it was like it
Well-
was just weird how they were floating. They were like what are you supposed?
Now-
Should you be like waiting, or should you be like flapping your feet? Like they were. It was just so apparent
There's
that they
mythology.
were like. No, not the mythology.
No,
part,
there's
but, like-
mythology
but
behind
it's
how
just, like,
they
it was, like-
traverse.
It was just so I couldn't stop thinking about it.
This is where suspension of disbelief comes into play, because we have the Aquaman comics, we have the lore behind how the Atlanteans traverse water and how they're very, natural in their movements, and they're not necessarily swimming, right? Do we have a reference point for that? Do we have a reference point for it?
That's why I think
See,
it was like the
I think-
graphic effects studios were just, oh man, how
think-
do we get this to look
I think
okay?
I think they had a massive task to undertake.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And when we see the behind the scenes footage, we see them they're dangling on harnesses and they're not really underwater.
So
but
apparent.
But to achieve what they did was it filled the gaps for me. Obviously, I didn't think it looked perfect, but it's still an impressive milestone to like it's the underwater portion of it, and being underwater and having their hair floating all the time because we can't film the whole movie underwater. I thought they did a great job with what they had to work with.
Very small thing.
That could
It doesn't
perhaps-
happen a lot, but
That could perhaps come back to just the actor's ability to dangle in a harness.
yeah, to pretend like I mean they were
To pantomime being underwater, right?
just like I'm coming. Hey.
Anyways, let's.
I mean, what I loved about it is that they were self-aware. It's a superhero movie. There were parts about the movie that had so many like epic hero poses.
Yes.
Like they took advantage of it, and Fast and Furious, director James Wan.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna have an underwater chase scene.
And so let's go to the meter for this movie then, right?
Let's do it. Overall, I think the movie was super cool.
It was super cool.
Super cool.
Personally, it's like this much behind Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman is kind of like the benchmark right now
For DC,
For
yeah.
DC, so any way they can get close to Wonder Woman is a positive in my book.
Jason Momoa is like the perfect Aquaman.
He is Aquaman,
He is Aquaman.
I mean, spoiler alert: the last frame we see of him in that pose, it's cheesy, it's corny, but it's so
comic book.
wonderfully
Yeah, it's
comic book.
It's
yeah.
so comic book. Like we were watching this with our parents and my kids, and when there was this moment where Aquaman comes in with his gold and green suit, I'm sitting next to Mom, and she's like, "Wow."
That was the defining moment, just like RDJ with Tony Stark. I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Except they added that comic book pose, and that frame right there, I was like, that is a comic book cover.
Yeah,
that's cover
There's
worthy.
so many epic scenes in this movie, from the hero poses that is totally comic book cover worthy, to the fighting sequences with the tridents, to the underwater city of Atlantis.
And the other kingdoms.
Oh man, it was like watching Avatar all over again when you first see and discover, or Jurassic Park when you first see the dinosaurs.
Or Lord of the Rings.
It was
with all the other
pretty
kingdoms.
breathtaking. It was breathtaking just to see the city light up in that deep.
It was.
deep,
I
dark
appreciated
blue.
it a lot. I appreciated the lore of the worlds, like all of the kingdoms. It was like Lord of the Rings almost, except not as in depth. But we did see that there were several tribes and several kingdoms underwater that just wasn't Atlantis.
Yeah. Anyway, it was worth it. It was super cool. It was a great movie. You guys let us know what you thought down in the comment section below. And as always,
Give us a like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you in the next video.
peace. Super cool.
Super, super cool.
Can I tell you something? Sebastian was almost breaking the game.
Why?
Why?
Because he knocked it over.
What do you mean he's fighting?
He's beating me up again.
We'll remind him only the bad guys, or we're gonna take it away. You don't have a